Hello Fit Bottom Girls, Dave Smith here with another at-home core workout that you can do in about 10 minutes, and we're just using pieces of equipment from around your house. You can see what we're going to be using today. Just a simple hand towel. Just before we get started, I just want to say that these exercises are a little more advanced, so maybe test them out, see how you feel, and let's get right to it. The first exercise that we're going to do is going to be a variation of a plank and sort of like a yoga move, downward facing dog, that you're probably familiar with. I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can make this easier or more challenging. So what I'll get you to do is set up in a straight arm plank, and we want to have our fingertips right at the very front of the mat, so you can see that my fingertips are touching the mat. And then we're going to have our towel just above the mat on the left hand side. So I've got my left fingertips on the mat, so my hands are sort of in a staggered start position. To make this easier, what you can do is walk your feet forward, and I'm in a bit of a modified downward facing dog. You can notice my hips come up. What that does is puts a little bit more weight into my feet, a little bit less work in the core. So what we're going to do from here, I'll just start in the modified version. We're going to take that towel and we're going to slide it along our mat right down beside our foot, and then we're going to place it back where we started. Let's try this together. More advanced version again. We're going to straighten out this plank. Let's go. We're going to touch by our foot and then come back to center. Touch by your foot, come back to center. So when we're in this plank, every time we come back to center, I want you to adjust your hips. So we bring our hips nice and square to the floor. Then we're going to bring that towel down, touch by our foot, and back to center. Let's do 10 per side. Touch by the foot. When we touch by our foot, you're going to notice that you get a bit of a corkscrew motion, so we're rotating through our torso. And anytime we do a rotation like that, we really fire up what's called our obliques, so the sides of our abs. What you want to be thinking about as we do this, the more we keep our hips low, the more challenging it becomes. And so if you want to pop your hips up and make it a little bit easier, by all means. If you really want to challenge yourself, think about keeping those hips very stationary. Let's do 2 more. Touch by your foot. Come on back up. You might notice a little side benefit here. This planted right arm that we've got supporting our body, it's getting a ton of work in our triceps and our shoulder. Come on down. So again, hips low, rotation. We get obliques, and the fact that we're actually moving our chest towards our hips, but we're in essence doing a lower ab exercise, sort of like a reverse crunch. So our hips and our chest are coming closer towards each other, so we're getting a lower ab workout as well. Let's try the other side. Same setup. Towel underneath right fingertips. Hips stay low. Come on down. Touch by your foot for 1. Notice how slowly we're moving for 2. Try it again for 3. Again, just make sure every single time we come back to the top of the mat, we reset, squaring up your hips. Because you're going to notice as we bring that towel down towards our right foot, we are going to get that rotation that I talked about. Your left hip's going to drop towards the floor. So we just want to straighten that back out into a nice, perfect plank every single time. We bring that hand back to the top of the mat. Touch. You might also notice another little side benefit here. Quads get a little bit of a work because we're doing the same motion as a squat, albeit with a lot less resistance, because our body is in a plank position instead of a regular squat. Let's try 2 more. I'm going to come down, touch, right back up. And maybe you're not bringing that towel all the way down to your foot. That's okay. Whatever you can do. Touch. Perfect. From there, what we're going to do is just take this mat, and I'm just going to fold it over 3 times. So we've got a really nice soft pad for a mat. Then we're going to take this towel and fold it out so it's nice and wide. And we're going to do what's called a rollout. And you've probably tried something like this or seen people do this at the gym where it's a wheel, an ab wheel. We're going to do it with the towel, and just before we do this, I just want to say this is way more challenging than an ab wheel just because there's so much resistance. The friction on the floor makes it way harder. So if you've done this before with an ab wheel and have flattened right out, go easy. Let's try this together. So we've got our knees down, toes hooked under, and then we're just setting up with shoulders over top of wrists. And all I want you to do, let's just move 6 inches and then pull it back. And as soon as you pull back, you're going to notice your core tightens up, your belly button pulls towards your spine. Also going to notice a whole lot of work in your shoulders and your arms. A little bit further this time, pull it back. And depending how slippery your floors are, it's going to make this easier or more challenging. Pull it back. If your floor is really slick, it'll replicate more like that ab wheel and you'll probably be able to reach further out. Let's try it again. And then contract back in. Let's talk about breath. So we're going to try and take a big breath in, ending that breath when we get to our full extension, and then exhale, pull it back in. Let's try it again. Breath in, exhale. Good. Let's try 5 more, and this time I want you to coordinate your exhale with pulling your belly button to your spine. So it's a conscious ab contraction as we pull that mat back in, or the towel back in. Let's try again. Good. Let's go again. One last one. Good. Should feel a ton in the shoulders as well as a ton in the core. Basically what we're doing is we're using that towel to create, again, a long lever, making our body really long. And the longer we become, the more gravity is going to be working against our core. What we'll do with this next one, this is a challenging move, is take your mat and fold it over so you just have a nice little square, something like that. And then we're going to go into an elbow plank. And your right foot is going to be set up right in the middle of the mat. So just take a look where my right foot is. Left foot's going to be off the side with our left toe on that little square of towel that we just folded over. Then what I'm going to get you to do is we're going to bring knee to elbow, slide it back. I want you to think about keeping hips as square to the ground as possible. Slide it back. Try again. We're going to go nice and slow just for 10. Slide it back. So again, we're rolling our tailbone towards our chest. Our hips are rolling under, and that means lower abs are really active in this exercise. As a modification, you can bring your right knee down and still do that same movement. Or come onto your toe. Trying to get that left knee as close to your left elbow as possible. Good. Let's do 3 more. For 1, 2, and 3. Nice and done. So short, quick little set, and you should feel tons of work going across those lower abs. Let's switch over to the other side. Onto our elbows, left toe in the middle of the mat, right toe on that square of towel, and let's go. Right knee to elbow, hips staying square for 1, 2, 3, 4. Abs should be burning already. 5, 6. Keep going. 7. Shoulders really starting to work. 8. Hips staying low. 9. And 10. Great job. Next, I'm going to just take this mat and fold it all the way back. So I've got 2 thicknesses. And if you're not doing this on a mat, if you're just doing it on the floor, that works perfectly too. And then just notice where I set up. My butt's just off the edge of the mat. And we're going to lie down flat on our back. To begin this one, the closer you bring your heels towards your butt, towards the mat, the easier it's going to be. So if you just check out where my heels are right now, if I were to step them even an inch or 2 away, it's going to make a big difference. Right hand's on the mat, chin away from the chest. We're going to lift our shoulders, and then we're going to take that mat, take the towel, slide it, and touch. Right fingertip to right heel. Back to center, head just lightly touches. Pause here for a second. What we're trying to avoid is this, full collapse. Now I'm just resting, so head lightly touches. If you want a little support for your head, feel free. You can put left hand on the back of your head. Come on up, touch, square up, light little touch. Right now, belly button's pulling down towards the floor. There's no gap under your lower back. And then we go right back up, slide, touch. Come on back to center, head lightly touches, up, touch, back to center, slide back down. We're going to try 15 on each side. So as we've been talking a lot about the different areas of our core, when we do a crunch, chest comes towards hips. That's upper abs primarily getting engaged. And in this one, because we're doing a rotation or a side bend, we're getting obliques. That last exercise we were doing when we were pulling the knees towards the chest, that's almost entirely lower abs. So we're giving our lower abs a little bit of a break, working upper and side. Good. Let's do 4 more. And again, if you're trying this on your own, just think about how slow this pace is. I know there's a temptation to just rush through it and get it done. But when we're in this crunched position, our abs are what's called under load for that entire time. So right now we're working, still working, momentary little break, and then right back up, we're working again. And good. Let's switch over to the other side. So we've got our towel on the left-hand side. I'm going to go right hand just supporting my head just to give my neck a little bit of support, chin away from the chest. And let's go. We're going to come up, touch, and back to center. Up, reach around, touch, back to center. If you want a challenge, see if you can bring that the towel right to the side of your heel. So as opposed to touching the back of your heel that's closest to you, see if we can just reach a little bit further, touch the side of your foot. We're up, we twist, we're back, we're down. Right now, the left sides of your abs, and again, the top of your abs should be on fire. We're up, little twist, back down, up, twist, back down. Let's try this with an exhale. So it's a breath in, exhale, breath in, up, exhale. Again, we're exhaling on the hardest part of the movement. The hardest part is that extra reach and twist, and then we recover with a breath in. Breath in. Exhale. Let's do 3. Up. Exhale, twist. Breath in. Up. Exhale, twist. Good. We're going to do 1 more. Up. Exhale, twist. And done. And that's it. Notice how quick that little series was. About 10 minutes, targets all areas of our core, and we're just using a hand towel. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Feel free to check out the other parts of this core series at Fit Bottom Girls. And if you want to get access to all of my full-length workout videos, they're all for free on my blog. Visit makeyourbodywork.com. Thanks for joining me.